Microsoft is killing one of its biggest apps and replacing it with something users didn't ask for. Outlook has over 400 million active users, except there are 2 separate Outlook apps and 3 mail apps. But Microsoft wanted everyone using the new Outlook, simpler, fewer features, and packed with AI. This is how Microsoft killed one of its biggest apps and what's hiding inside the new Outlook. So why did Microsoft kill one of the most popular apps on Windows? All of this started on May 22nd. In 2022, Microsoft released an early preview for the new Outlook for Windows, and almost immediately, people were furious. Why? Outlook Classic is what most people were used to. It's a more traditional, built-in email app with keyboard shortcuts, custom toolbars, rule management. It's highly customizable. A lot of people use this version, especially at work. But there's also another potentially bigger app, Windows Mail. It's the simple app pre-installed on Windows, and people really loved this app too. It integrates with other Windows apps like Calendar and People, it has a clean, simple UI, and it can have multiple emails in one inbox. It was straight to the point, which for Microsoft was unusually good. But now, with Microsoft's new update, there were 2 versions of Outlook, Old Outlook and New Outlook, and also Windows Mail. 3 Microsoft mailing apps. Very confusing. So, what exactly was even new? It turns out a lot, but much of which was unwelcome. Let's start with the surface changes. First, a UI overhaul. At its core, it still combines email, calendar, and a to-do list. But Microsoft added features like loop components, which let teams collaborate in real time directly inside emails. You can pin emails and snooze them. They overhauled categories, and you could have multiple Outlook accounts as well as Hotmail, Gmail, Yahoo, iCloud, and more. There was tighter integration with 365 apps, especially Teams and OneDrive. And of course, this wouldn't be a modern tech update without AI. The new Outlook was heavily integrated with Copilot. Summarize emails, organize your inbox, draft emails, prepare for meetings, manage your calendar. Microsoft was integrating Copilot into all parts of Outlook. Copilot is a powerful tool that can help you save time, achieve more, and stay on top of your inbox. It seemed on the surface like a new, fresh, consolidated email client. So why was everyone so upset? Well, for 2 reasons. The first came in June 2023, when Microsoft announced that this new Outlook would replace Mail and Calendar the following year. That's right, Mail and Calendar were being shut down, and of course, the new default Mail app on Windows 11 would be New Outlook. Used Mail for years or potentially a decade? Too bad, time to use New Outlook. People were furious. I hate this so much. The old Mail and Calendar apps were simple and functional, while the new Outlook is complete garbage by comparison. And that's before you get into some of the more seedy aspects of the app. They'll have to take the Outlook desktop app out of my cold, dead hands. But there's more. By August 2024, Microsoft formally described the new Outlook for Windows as ready for commercial customers. Enterprise users would be forced into the new Outlook by April 2026 with the ability to opt out until then. Windows 10 was perfect with its apps for contacts, mail, and calendar and task scene and notifications. Everything was taken from us in Windows 11. So why do this? Why does Microsoft want to push everyone to another mail app? Millions are already using Windows Mail or old Outlook. So why? Well, that is the second reason people are annoyed. There were a lot of other changes to this new Outlook. Copilot was just the beginning. The deeper people looked, the more annoyed they got. A lot of people, especially in programming or research, are using multiple LLMs since they're all good at different things. But that can get pretty expensive. Just a few concurrent plans can add up to $100 a month or more. So why not get access to all of them for one cheap subscription? Mammoth allows you to use all the best AI under one €10 a month plan. Yeah, all the best LLMs for €10 a month. This includes text models, image models, open source models, all the cutting edge AI. And what I love about Mammoth is their deep commitment to privacy. They have no data retention. LLM providers do not keep Mammoth's prompts, which means your messages aren't used for any AI training. Mammoth is based in Paris, with their servers hosted in Germany, which means they are fully GDPR compliant under the European Union. But Mammoth isn't just more private, it's also the best way to use LLMs. Their reprompting feature lets you compare models' responses in one click. If you aren't a fan of a response from, say, ChatGPT, click Reprompt and ask Claude or Gemini or Grok or any other. With more models, you also save time and have fewer research errors. Mammoth currently equips more than 300 companies and public administrators with its dedicated plans. It has great plans for both individuals and companies, as well as an API. Stay at the cutting edge of AI without the lock-in. Click the URL in the description and try Mammoth today. Thank you to Mammoth for sponsoring our videos. From Microsoft's perspective, all of this was a bit of a mess. Microsoft said, "It's our intention that every person be able to access all of their emails in one spot on any Windows 10 or Windows 11 device." They wanted things more streamlined. For years, Outlook existed in multiple versions, each designed differently for web, desktop, and other platforms. The new version simplifies that. It runs on one single codebase designed to work across every system. That makes updates easier, faster, more consistent. They said, "Now everyone with Windows gets the best of Outlook built into Windows for free. You will write better emails with advanced AI built into the new Outlook for Windows to help you write impactful, clearer, mistake-free messages." Best of Outlook being quite subjective there, because that came with some changes. They said it was designed to bring consistency across our Windows and web codebases. So the new Outlook was essentially a web page with a wrapper.
Everyone who was an Outlook adept, like I was, looked at it and said, "What is this?"
I tried it for like 5 minutes and wanted my full paid-for Outlook client back. I have 4 methods in place to block this crappy web version. Just wait, they are forcing everything into Teams as a be-all communications tool.
If you have this in your Outlook and you're dying to see what happens, go ahead and do it. You could always revert back. The only thing is, it's gonna look like a web version of Outlook. You're not gonna like it, I guarantee it.
It feels like a web app in a box.
And this meant that things people expected weren't there, and some things people didn't want were. The old Outlook allowed users to access emails without an internet connection. The new one, not so much. Apparently, this was coming soon, whatever that meant, and this created another problem. PST files used as local storage for emails offline stopped working properly. For many users and small businesses, that meant losing access to years of archived data. Then there were enterprise tools. Plugins like VSTO, COM add-ins, and customer management integrations, tools businesses rely on every day, were either broken or missing. And it didn't stop there. Basic app functions started failing. Search folders vanished. You couldn't hyperlink to local files. The file menu changed or went missing entirely. Drag and drop didn't work the same. Mail merge features were gone. This was just worse Outlook. There's a big reason for all of this. The new Outlook was a web-based wrapper, not a native app like Mail or Calendar. Many people did give it a genuine go, but the UI was just a bit unfinished. People also noticed something else in the UI: ads. To be clear, free Outlook always had ads, banner ads to be specific. But now, Microsoft just went and put these in your inbox. These aren't like sponsored emails. Clicking them just takes you to an external page like a banner ad. Even some paid users were seeing these. But even that wasn't the biggest issue. The real change was happening in the background. The new Outlook is cloud-based, and not everyone was comfortable with that. The new Outlook is a Trojan horse. I don't think most people realize that Outlook will grab their emails, account details, passwords, calendars, and contacts and upload them to Microsoft's own servers. It turns something you own and control into something you simply rent, and it's your own data. I am so mad. I just bought a new computer and the Office Home 2024 package. I am now stuck with that god-awful new Outlook. It's clunky and unresponsive. Complaints flooded everywhere. And if people weren't complaining, they were looking for tech tips to opt out of the update.
We'll go over to Settings here in the new Outlook. Click on General, click on About Outlook, and then down here is the button to Open Mail Now, return to Windows Mail and Calendar.
Guides started popping up showing users how to bypass or disable the new Outlook entirely. It was all too much. People were sharing and migrating to other email products. So, what did Microsoft do? It's funny how many deep dives we've done on email platforms. But if you actually care about this sort of stuff, subscribe. It helps a lot. Thank you. The enterprise rollout was moved back to March 2027, giving businesses more time to opt out. And support for old Outlook was pushed even further. Existing installations of classic Outlook through perpetual and subscription licensing will continue to be supported until at least 2029. Since these customers directly pay for Outlook and 365, their voice was definitely the loudest, although I wouldn't call it a victory. But for fans of Mail and Calendar, the story doesn't have a happy ending. Mail and Calendar were nuked just as Microsoft intended. If you open Mail now, you'll see this pop up. In February 2025, Microsoft started automatically installing the new Outlook app on Windows 10 PCs via security updates if it wasn't already present, further pushing users off Mail and Calendar. Many users, though, had already left. Complaints continued to pile in. Anyone else hate the new desktop Outlook? I am so mad. I just bought a new computer and the Office Home 2024 package. I am now stuck with that god-awful new Outlook. It is clunky and unresponsive. Even by 2025 and 2026, basic features were still being added, features that older apps already had. And it raises a bigger question. Does it feel like Windows itself is getting worse? The operating system now feels more like a platform for promotion. The Windows 11 Start menu includes Microsoft Store app recommendations. A space that used to be purely functional now doubles as advertising. Key features get removed, the backlash follows, and then those same features return as innovation. One example is the removal of the classic Never Combine Taskbar buttons and Show Labels feature. Then Microsoft announces, "We're excited to bring you an early version of one of our most requested features for Windows 11, Never Combined mode." And now, the same pattern seems to be repeating with Outlook. Search is slow, tasks take longer, basic functions feel harder to use, and features are missing. And then there's Copilot. For many users, it's just one more layer they didn't ask for. At this point, some people are even starting to miss Windows 10. Having multiple apps for Mail was a bit of a mess, but it was a weirdly good mess. 2 different Mail apps was actually okay. They both serve different customers, regular personal inboxes and businesses with 365 Outlook. But Microsoft wanted to put everyone in one app, so they kill off products people actually use to rebrand everything into things that sound modern and clean. I think there's a bigger problem here. Products like Outlook are sold to companies, and they're usually not pitched to everyday people using them. This is the buyer-user split. The person who buys Outlook isn't necessarily the person who has to use it every day. They're pitched to managers, executives, and heads of ITs or other team leads, bundled with other apps, packages, and ways to improve productivity. They end up not being designed with the day-to-day workers in mind. Though, I suppose, Microsoft's customers are the shareholders, not the users. A lot is actually tied to the stock price, yet something is changing at Microsoft. Investors aren't so thrilled about all this AI spend anymore. Microsoft's market cap dropped $500 billion in a single week after they announced more AI spend. Check out this video to learn more, but until then, I'm Hari, and I'll see you guys on the next one.